Football is
America,
America.
football is America. If you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass for the moment in time. I don't give a damn. Oh my God. You love it.
It's 30-27. Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30-20.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Packers Bears. McManus jogging on the field right now to try to make this a 10-point game. Malik Willis, man, he's looking really solid right now. And I thought the Bears were going to win this game. Well, I'll be honest. I thought they had a chance. Wow, McManus's kick sneaks in, and it's a 10-point game with 5 to go. We got the one and only Big Dog Rick. I mean, Ginger. Man, I thought the Bears had a pretty good shot at splitting the series, and then with Jordan Love going out with a concussion, not returning, I thought, how do they not win against the backup quarterback? And here's the thing about Chicago, right? I think everybody wants to say you are your record. I think the Bears aren't really the record. And to me, they feel like a 9-7 team. Yet here they are at 10-4. The Packers game, they didn't play until late November. We got Packers Bears 2 in the last 3 weeks. We knew those were going to be tough games. And, one of the reasons the Bears have been able to win and why they were a team that you have to take serious was because the amount of running yards they're getting per game, it was astronomical. So they're able to run the football. They're not asking Caleb to do too much. And it's very reminiscent of when Brian Daboll got to New York in his first season with the Giants. And it wasn't until later in that season he was asking Daniel Jones to grip it and rip it. That wasn't really the game plan. And the same kind of deals going on. Daboll got that team to the playoffs. It looks like the Bears might get into the playoffs. This is tough because if they lose this game, then they play the 49ers, who are playing for the 1 seed. If the 49ers win out, they would become the 1 seed in the NFC. So the Niners at home playing for something that big, the Bears would have to win. And if they can't win that game, well, then week 18, if the Lions win against the Steelers tomorrow and the Lions win next week against a bad team, I think the Vikings, then week 18, the Bears' final game would be a playoff game against the Lions. If the Lions win, the Lions get in. If the Bears win, the Bears get in. And that game is going to be in Chicago. I just don't know if the Bears are good enough to beat the Lions. So their best path to the playoffs was at least splitting the series with Green Bay. They're 4.5 minutes away, needing to beat San Francisco or Detroit to get into the playoffs. It's going to be a tough one. And this probably on paper was the one that was the easiest. Green Bay coming off an emotional loss. Oh my gosh, a big drop without Jordan Love and with an injured Josh Jacobs. I don't know if it gets much easier than that. And they're going to have to figure out how to pull themselves together if they don't come away with a win here. I thought Rick was coming. I thought you were Rick. I've been hearing Green Bay sucks chants, and I've seen a lot of fights. And this game just has everything you would expect from Packers Bears rivalries. I love it. I love that Ben Johnson. Why is there a football on the field? Oh, that's a flag. Yeah, that wasn't a first down. I didn't think it was a first down. I didn't even realize they gave him a first down until the challenge. No, because he gave himself up, and that's what's weird. Here's the thing. Yeah, replay assist. Yeah, it was very obvious. Here's what I say. If you're not Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's where you start your slide. Yeah, I mean, I see quarterbacks do this all the time. They still slide as if they're gonna get the yards after the slide. Once the right shin touches the ground, he's down, and that was a full yard, half a yard after his shin touched. So, it's gonna be about 4th and inches here. This is a massive play, y'all. Here we go. 4th and inches. Caleb's going to run it again, and this time he's going to pick up 7. And I love this. I love this. I love it. I told Rick, this is what I want. You get quarterbacks that are in their head thinking, I can't run it, or people will think I'm not a passing quarterback. Don't worry about that. When the game's on the line and you need a first down, if it's in front of you, go get it. Don't dick around and take hey, I'm going to throw a 50-50 ball when there's a lane right in front of me. There's only a false start at home makes me more upset than a quarterback throwing a 50-50 ball with a lane of empty field in front on 4th down. You want to take a shot? Take a shot. But the alligator closest to the boat is getting a first down. And you have to be able to prioritize that as a quarterback. 2nd and 10, Caleb Williams in shotgun. Ball snap, looking, firing, and it's going to be incomplete. A dart, and it had pretty good speed on it. DJ Moore's got it. It looked like, I'm looking at the replay, it looked like he should have came up with this. He's got to catch that ball. I know it was a tough hit, but you really got to come up with that catch. Man, here we go, 3rd and 10 because they haven't gotten a yard. Caleb trying to avoid being sacked, rolling around. Now he buys some time. There's a flag, and Caleb looks like he's picked up the first down, but there's a flag. So now it's going to be 3rd and 20. Man, he barely. That's such a. Yeah, he's got his arm around his back. That's definitely holding. You got 2 downs to get 20 yards. Nick. Yeah, that I posted about this. I think the Bears are going to miss the playoffs because I don't see them beating the 49ers or the Lions. So I made a post stating if the Bears lose this game that they wouldn't make it to the playoffs. That's a fumble. They're going to say he was down, but that looked like a fumble to me. Oh my God, they're going to get saved by the fucking bell. In this case, a yellow flag because of a yellow glove that touched a Chicago blue helmet. That's Brinson, number 91. It was about to be 4th and 27, and now it's gonna be 1st down, and LaFleur is pissed. You keep seeing, like, this is one of those teams where if you give them enough opportunities, they can come up with a big play, and now you're giving them, instead of one more play to get 27 yards, you're giving them a fresh set of downs to make it a 2-possession game. The Bears still have 2 timeouts in the 2-minute warning if they score before the 2-minute warning, which should be the priority. They should take a shot, and Caleb will, and it's incomplete. Walker had his first catch today. Zacchaeus. Let's see, Zacchaeus, Colston Loveland. These are the guys that have been most reliable on the field. Here's Caleb looking in his direction, and he's going to fire, and that's to Monungai, and it's going to be a gain of 4.5. I think a lot of this game rests on scoring before the 2-minute warning. You got to score before the 2-minute warning. Loveland comes down with it. Oh my gosh. And now they call an illegal shift on DJ Moore. Where's Rick at? I want the panic. I do too. I don't know. I don't know where Rick is today. You know, I figured if he wasn't working, he would be streaming this game. And when I logged on and didn't see him, I was surprised. But I wanted to make sure you guys got this 4th quarter at least. Caleb Williams to DJ Moore, and it's going to be 4th and 4. You got to kick the field goal anyway. Stop dicking around. You got to go. You guys are not going fast enough. You need this field goal before the 2-minute warning. Come on. Move your ass. Now, come on. You have to get set. Man, if this was one of those where they needed 12 seconds to do it, Tom Brady, dude, this is crazy. They're not going to get it off before the 2-minute warning. That's fucking unbelievable. This is unbelievable. They just wasted a fuck. Oh my God. How incomp are you? How does that happen? How does that take 40 seconds? I got to see this. 3rd down. Okay. And then we replay 3rd down. 2 minutes and 44 seconds was on the clock. And DJ Moore goes down at 2:38. How did it take 40 seconds to kick a field goal? Look at the way they're jogging off the field. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. The Bears are going to lose because it takes them 40 seconds to get the field goal unit on the field when they're going as fast as they can, period. The Bears did another Bear moment, even with Ben Johnson, just like last year on Thanksgiving. Caleb Williams does not understand the urgency under time duress. That is his biggest problem. Caleb Williams seems to just not understand at all the sense of urgency, even to the speed which he runs off the field. He's barely jogging, and DJ Moore and his group's behind him, and they see how Caleb's jogging, and they jog at the exact same pace Caleb. You're telling me if Caleb turns, looks at Ben, and starts sprinting off the field, those guys are gonna do a very light jog? Hell no. That is the, "Oh, shit, we gotta go," and that's on Caleb, man. People always wanna blame coaching. You're the franchise quarterback. This is elementary Pop Warner. Have you played Madden before? I mean, 12-year-olds understand this. I don't know how he's always so disconnected when it comes to this time. Okay, I said it better. I said Caleb Williams does not understand the urgency when playing against the clock. Does not under Caleb Williams does not play with urgency when he's playing against clock. Caleb Williams does not properly play with urgency when he's playing against the clock. Here we go. Onside kick is recovered by the Packers. No, he fumbled it. The Bears might have it. Bears recover. Bo Nix would win this game, to be honest. He definitely would have gotten off the field in less than 40 seconds. I've seen the Congress of the United States move faster than that. Thank you, brother. I was into a live stream earlier and plugged my boys. I sent you a pic. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's the guy we raided. Dude, hell yeah. Thank you, Ginger. Dobbs got hurt. You know, the classless moment of tonight is not the crowd chanting "Let's go Bears" while Dobbs is injured. It's because they're so elated that they just recovered the onside kick. I don't blame them. Let me take you to 4:30 p.m. Central Time today with the University of Miami in a pretty close game against Texas A&M. A&M's on the goal line, and they're Miami's linebacker. Hold on, we'll get to it. Quick throw. Kmet, quick catch. Kmet, quick catch. Got to go quick. This would be a good time to get Lublin the ball. Here we go, 2nd and 7. Caleb Williams looking, and there he is, Colston Loveland. And Loveland picks up 10. Caleb going downfield, caught. DJ Moore. DJ Moore down to the 12. DJ Moore. .43 seconds to go. Caleb. Loveland catches another. You know who we haven't seen in the second half? Zacchaeus. The focus is going to be on Moore and Loveland. Watch for Zacchaeus here. Zacchaeus lined up at the bottom of your screen. Ball snap. Caleb looking that way. Firing intended for Zacchaeus, and Caleb missed him. He threw it too high. He was wide open. Got to throw a better ball here. Look at this. Breaks off. He's got him. Enough separation, as Tom Brady said. Inaccurate throw, poor mechanics. 2 more chances. 3rd and 4. Watch for Caleb to run it in himself here. Looking to throw. Blitz coming off the back foot. Oh my gosh. He has to throw it out. And now it's 4th and 4. Would the Bears go for 2 if they score a touchdown here? I think they would go for 2 in overtime if it came down to it. But the way Santos has been kicking, I think they would probably take the extra point. The one play, division on the line. Packers showing pressure. They're bringing pressure. He caught it. Touchdown. Ja'Day Walker. Wow. Are they going for 2? 1, 2. He got it. I love it. Damn, that is a hard throw. And that is just an amazing, amazing catch. Tie game. We're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why your boy showed up. And it looks like my Bears bet might actually go through now. Chicago. That one can't go through because Love is injured. Colston Loveland, 20 yards. That one's not going through. This one could. Colston Loveland, 20 more yards. Christian Watson, 8 more yards. This is the one that's most likely. Zacchaeus to have 17 more yards. Josh Jacobs to have 3 receiving yards. I'm 17 yards from Zacchaeus and 3 yards from Jacobs away from 117. Romeo Doubs needs 1 more catch to win me 4,000. or I'm sorry, 4 it's plus 400 to win 15. Monangai, 11 more rushing yards. Josh Jacobs, 14 more rushing yards from 65. Let's see if Josh Jacobs can get a little halfback screen here. And they're going with Wilson. All right. Well, here we go. Malik Willis trying to throw it. Sack. Timeout. They call timeout. The Packers won't call timeout. They're going to overtime. I thought that was the rule about driving a quarterback into the ground. That was the rule. That is what he did. An onside freaking kick. He is solid. Thanks, Shinja. The most Bears ending is they missed the extra point. Only if it doinks. I love that Brandon McManus is out there. He looks cold. Okay, so what is it that they've been saying we wanna defer? There's somehow, like, an issue with saying you wanna defer? Defer in because defer is just kicking. Everybody wants to kick now, because if you score first, the other team gets a chance to go for 2 for the win, and you know what you need. If you are the team that's going first, you're kind of I think it's gonna get to a point where you're gonna see teams it might not happen this year, but next year for sure, you're gonna see the consequence of this new overtime rule where no matter what happens, the other team gets a chance to possess the ball. The ripple effect of that starting next year, mark my words, December 20th, you're going to have teams score a touchdown on the very first drive of overtime, and they're gonna go for 2 right there. That way, they can't lose by a 2-point conversion. Now, this is only gonna be the case if they're going up against a really difficult defense. I'm sorry, a really bad defense, right? Or if they themselves have a really bad defense and they haven't been able to stop the other team all day, because 'cause you're sitting there thinking, "Well, we know they're gonna score on our defense, but at least they need to score and they need a 2-point conversion." Because if you have a really bad defense, you're like, they're likely gonna score and they're likely gonna get the 2-point conversion after they score. So why don't we just try to get ahead of it and, score, get the 2-point conversion, and treat it like, "Hey, if we give up a touchdown, we lose," pretty much. If you don't get the 2-point conversion, because then they just need an extra point to beat you. So you just have to treat it like, "Hey, we didn't get the 2-point conversion. If we give up a touchdown, it's over." How about a change allowing the team who scores first to end the game if they get the 2-point conversion, but the other team gets a chance if they fail or kick a field goal? Yeah, I love that. I love that. But I think we're going to get the I think by next year, the team that scores first will be going for 2 anyway. But, yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I think that would be it would give, legitimate reason to receive again without returning to the old system. Yeah, I think that would be a good but I don't know if the NFL will do it because I think by next year like, the reason you would implement that rule is to incentivize the first team to go for 2, but I think the rule exists so both offenses get a chance. That's the main thing is, like, we want no matter what, we want both offenses touching the ball. But I think by next year, you're gonna get two-point conversions on the first team. Do you guys wanna see something crazy that nobody else knows about? I can't say anything. Can't really see it on camera. Caught! Wow! Jayden Reed on the first play. 31 yards. Where's Reed? I had Reed. I know I had Reed somewhere. Oh, Jayden Reed. There he is. That's sad. Every single one of my bets hit besides Jordan Love having 200 yards, which he would have. That parlay would have hit. Come on. They're going to. Xavier Williams gets the direct handoff. What's up with the Packers and their diapers on their head? Also, do you think the NFL will let the Broncos wear their throwbacks in the Super Bowl this year? I don't think so. I don't think the Broncos would because what makes those throwbacks historical is that we won Super Bowls in them. And I think our ownership wants, what we're wearing now, people to be nostalgic about in, 30 years. And maybe that's only possible if they win a Super Bowl in them. Because I think if Denver was going to wear their throwbacks in the Super Bowl, they would have just made those uniforms their home field uniforms permanently. But they spoke about the reason they didn't do it is because they wanted to, give the nod to the past with also embracing the future and putting their own signature on their ownership, blah, blah, blah. Or not Super Bowls. Hold on one sec. Not Super Bowls, but like deep in the play. Like last year when people in Buffalo, Green Bay just called a timeout on 3rd and 1. The Bears were going to stop them too. No, yeah, 1999, 1998, we had our, of course, right there. And actually, we have a better record in our white version of those because I remember in Super Bowl 50, they asked Denver because they were wearing their white jerseys, and they asked Denver how they felt about it, and Denver was like, we've never lost a Super Bowl in these. But I think they would have worn their throwbacks in Buffalo last year. So I think once the postseason starts, I don't think Denver's wearing their their throwback uniforms. But it's the same principle I was saying before. Like, we're gonna have to I think we're gonna have to have postseason success in our current uniforms so that we feel the way we feel about the throwbacks in 30 years. If it were up to me, we would wear the throwbacks every Sunday. That would be the end of it. But I'm starting to not mind these uniforms. It seems like every Sunday they grow on me a little bit more every single week. 4th and 1, Green Bay going for it here. This would be the game, essentially. Oh my god, he fumbled the ball. And the Bears are gonna get a turnover on downs. How the fuck do you fumble the ball in that situation? How does that happen? This is what I mean, though, about the Bears. I'm not surprised that they're gonna come away with a win in this game. But Green Bay with Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs and, they're banged up. Chicago's banged up too, but I feel like every time I watch a Bears game, I'm watching the same exact exact game. But what's different about Chicago and Denver, because I know people out there going, "Well, what about Denver?" Chicago doesn't have an elite defense. They just lead the league in takeaways. Like, there's several categories. Chicago's ranked 28th. They give up a ton of yards. But they lead the NFL in takeaways. And you watch the game, and it's like some of the takeaways are just like offensive blunders. And then they have other plays where it's like, "Oh, no, that's a really good takeaway." But how far can that take you? Like, are they gonna eventually play a team that just doesn't cough the ball up? And then can they win that game? I think, like I said, Chicago's on schedule, but I think their deep run is next year. I think Chicago is us of last year. Now Green Bay saying they have Green Bay's ball. Chicago just fumbled. And now Green Bay would be able to kick a field goal. Oh, no, he's down. It wasn't even close. Dude, this game is insane. The Bears just need to get in field goal range. Here's Monangai. All the way to Packers territory. Monangai should just be the starting running back. And Monangai with that carry makes me only 14 yards short of winning $65. Here we go. Williams looking, going deep downfield for the win. Touchdown! Bears win! DJ Moore's hurt. DJ Moore's hurt. Stop celebrating. Go check on your fucking dude. There he is. Oh my god. Dude. Did you see how he let his body go limp? Look at Ben Johnson. I'm sorry, but I can't help but think he's, like, playing a character. It's like when Denver beat the Chiefs, you saw Sean visibly, like, happy. You just saw Ben Johnson go, like, shake hands with the floor, do the whole, like, "Oh, yeah, whatever. I'm just doing this because I have to. If it were up to me, I wouldn't even shake your hand." Then he smiles at a player that's running by, and then you see him correcting himself, like, "No, I'm angry." It's like, dude, stop thinking about it so hard. Just fucking be yourself. Happy INVY or NVY on it, though a guy I used to work with that's a vet trying to get me to go out, and he loved this woman and tried to hit her up. She's trying to get me to come at her. How do I tell homie, like, "Sorry, dog, I gotta get it in." Vet dude, it took me a minute. I don't know, man, you're on your own with that one. I don't have any good advice. I've been out of the game for a while, but if it's a good friend, I would just say there's plenty of fish in the sea. Opportunity. So corny. Oh my god, these fucking fingernails are painted. Too much time on the clock. Maybe that's why you fucking took 41 seconds to kick the field goal. The Bears winning this game is absolutely not helping them move forward because Mike Vrabel said it best with the Patriots, and that's why the Patriots, even though they've had the strength of schedule stuff going against them, I believe in the Patriots because Mike Vrabel said the most beautiful thing in a press conference. You know what he said? That we're gonna learn from this win so we don't have to learn from losses. Does it get any more real than that? Just being, like, unsettled with a win. The Bears took 42 seconds from the end of 3rd down to kick the field goal when they needed to preserve the 2-minute warning. But because because they didn't preserve the 2-minute warning, they had to kick an extra point. I mean, because they didn't preserve the 2-minute warning, they had to kick the onside kick, which they recovered. So, it all works out in the end, right? I don't care which team it is, like, if you're gonna be a good coach and be doing this for a long time, get past the 3-year coaching hurdle, right? There's that 3-year if you get past year 3, you're gonna be a coach for a while, usually. You can't be satisfied. Even when your team looks really good, that's the scariest time of all, because how do you keep your players focused? How do you keep everyone locked in? I was watching a documentary about the 1998 Broncos, and they're, like, 14-0, and everyone's talking about the perfect season. And all the players, and really the loss 2 years ago, in the Denver was the 1 seed, Jacksonville barely squeaked into the playoffs, another team lost that got Jackson. Jacksonville came to Denver and beat John Elway and the Broncos. And if it weren't for that loss, the team would have never matured to the point that they needed to win 2 Super Bowls in a row. It wouldn't have happened if Jacksonville didn't come in and embarrass the Broncos, because you learn from those moments. But had Denver been able to somehow beat Jacksonville that day, I don't think they win 2 Super Bowls in a row, because when you lose a game like that, it stays with you. It doesn't go away. You gotta hate losing more than you like winning. And I'm not trying to be the guy saying the Bears got lucky, but, I mean, you tell me. If you don't have the worst clock management blunder I've seen this year, you're not even kicking an onside kick in that situation, which was the reason you were able to win the game. It was a mistake that led to an onside kick, which led to it being recovered. And, like, I'm happy for Bears fans. I'm happy for the city of Chicago, but I'm only talking about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Like, if you really wanna do this thing and compete with the Rams and the Seahawks and even the Packers with Jordan Love. Remember, this was a Malik Willis, no Josh Jacobs type of a game today. If you're gonna compete with these guys, you have to learn from this game instead of waiting to lose to then decide, maybe we should learn from this game." We got Rick in the chat, Chicago. Dude, what is going on with the clock management? I can't understand it for the life of me. Oh, damn, Rick's sick. Damn, hope you feel better, buddy. I gotta at least think that the Bears winning at least restores your ego. Bad time management, but it absolutely did. If your clock management wasn't poor, there would have been no onside kick because you would have had the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts. So it's like, hey, I don't know why my camera keeps doing that, but it's starting to piss me off. I was bad-mouthing them for 3.5 quarters. This was an act of the That's right. What the fuck? What is it doing that for? Oh, shit. Looks like my camera got on, so I just plugged it back in. We got Pebble. What's up, Casey? Sorry, Rick, but I'll is it better now? Exactly. D-line is such a problem. Drafting needs our edge, defensive tackle, and repeat. Yeah. And I think, and just talking about Chicago here for a bit, I feel like Chicago is very similar where we were last year. We were getting wins, and the expectation was that we would make it to the playoffs because, damn it, this team is good enough to be a playoff team. So anything less than that would be a disappointment. But once we got in and played Buffalo, the expectation, like there was a part of us that thought, hey man, maybe we can win. And then we threw a 50-yard touchdown on the opening drive to Troy Franklin. It was like, holy crap, we're going to win this thing. Never scored again. And it sucks when it happens, but then like once the dust settles and you're like, yeah, you know what? That's just where we were at. Then we hit the off season and it's like now we're gonna load up. Now we know like where we're weak. And if we keep our strengths and figure out those 1-2, like Rick's saying, the defensive line, the edge, figure out a couple pieces that we need to improve and it's not even about going to the playoffs. It's Super Bowl time. And I think Chicago, they're not ahead of schedule. I don't think they're behind schedule. I think they're on schedule. I think Monangai should take over. But you know Ben Johnson wants to keep the two running backs. None of this would have been possible if he didn't revamp the offensive line. Also, we got to keep in mind, too, Jordan Love didn't play, which is weird because I felt like Malik Willis played well enough where that doesn't have to be the story. You know, people are always so quick to pour cold water on your victories. I think Malik Willis might have played well enough for that not to be the storyline here. Of course, Packer fans are going to talk about it because, you know, so would I if it happened to me. If Bo Nix was out for the whole game and the Chiefs, you know, needed a miracle to beat us, 100% I would have brought that up. And they will, but still, like, it can't be lost on us that Malik Willis at times looked like maybe he could even, I don't know, go to Miami and be the starting quarterback. I just streamed the Dolphins in a must-win game. They looked awful. Tua looked so bad. And, you know, I'm like watching him play, and I'm like, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this type of quarterback play? Oh, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. Tua has become Russell Wilson way too early. And that's what it is, man. That's what it is. I don't know what's gonna happen. I do know the Dolphins are off the Tua. It's funny a little bit because I remember asking Rick a question in the offseason saying, hey, what's gonna happen when the NFL, we're bringing in all these quarterbacks? I mean, you look at the quarterback class of Bo Nix and Caleb Williams and Drake May and Michael Penix and maybe not McCarthy. I'm not impressed. We'll see. He's obviously going to get another year, but that's it if he doesn't drastically improve. And I'm forgetting one quarterback. Who am I forgetting? You got Caleb, Drake May, McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr. Who's the fifth? Who the hell is that quarterback? Oh, my favorite quarterback. He's been hurt all year. Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels, you know, he's still like, you know, availability, the accessibility, all that, but it's hard to not think that Jaden Daniels is basically the next Lamar Jackson. And I'm excited to see him back. But anyway, with quarterback classes like that coming out, I asked Rick, are we going to get to a point where there's like a really great quarterback class coming out of college, maybe 6 or 7 really good quarterbacks? and there's just not 7 teams that need a quarterback? Because I was going through, I'm like, how many teams need a quarterback? And we counted, it was like 3. And now there's not enough quarterbacks to fill the amount of teams that need a quarterback. And with these quarterbacks making the kind of money that they're making in college football, they're not eager to come out anymore. There's definitely a place for a guy like Shedeur Sanders next year, a guy like Malik Willis next year, a guy like maybe even Tua on another team, unfortunately. Although he'll probably back up. Maybe even Kirk Cousins, who's been kind of lighting it up lately. There's going to be this is going to be one of those off seasons where there's a lot of musical chairs going on with our quarterbacks. You can bank on that. And then Drew Aller, and now it's the quarterback of Nebraska that everybody's going crazy about. What's going on? Let me see if I can. Whoa. Let's see if I can. Oh, perfect time. Of course, I grabbed the one charger that liquid detected. What is that even? How is there liquid in my phone? Liquid detected. That's not true. That doesn't make any sense. I just used a brand new cable and it's saying I have liquid detected in my. Liquid detected. I don't have any liquid around. This doesn't make any sense. This makes no sense at all. My phone is saying liquid detected. I just used 2 different cables. My phone has been on a tripod, literally sitting on a tripod like this. And there's no water over here. There's no moisture. Like, Kyle's about to lose his phone because he doesn't trust the sensor. How could there be water in my phone? That doesn't make any sense. Let's see. How could there be water detected in a phone that... Hold on. I think I know the problem. Okay. I unplugged that. That was plugged in here. That is plugged in to that. Then it is plugged into... What happened to my... No, that doesn't make any sense. None of this is making... Nothing is making sense right now. I just unplugged something that was right here and it's gone. Where did it go? Here. Okay. I plug this into here. Here, I'll plug it into my phone and see what it says. Yep, it works fine. And then this, put in there. That doesn't matter. And this. All right. So there was no moisture. That was like a weird bug or something. Right. We're back, baby. Niners Bears just got all the bigger. Also, did you see the Bears might be sharing a state with the Colts soon? The Indiana Bears? No, I didn't see that. Indiana is going to buy Chicago? Sounds like it would be the other way around. Stop dipping your phone into it. Dude, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense that my phone would have water in it when it's only used as a webcam. This is my phone. Nothing is making sense right now. Every Packers and Rams fan currently saying the same thing. Packers have tough games upcoming. Ravens, Vikings, and they're hemorrhaging injuries like crazy. Hemorrhaging injuries like crazy. It's not inconceivable that they lose out in this playoffs. It is not. There's not much that is solidified in the NFC. The AFC is so much different. The AFC is so much different. And look at this. Now that we've... Okay. Now that this game is officially in the books, look at this. Here, let me do that. There. Okay. So, week 16 is upon us, okay? So, let's say the Lions beat the Steelers. And we'll go 49ers beat the Colts. And dude, I am so excited for Sunday Night Football because I actually think the Ravens can beat New England, which means if we beat Jacksonville, I'm pretty sure we could clinch home field. Because the Chargers are 10-4, we're 12-2. So if we won, we would go to 13-2. So even if the Chargers win, they would be 11-4. But if the Ravens beat the Patriots and we beat Jacksonville, we send Jacksonville out of reach. New England is out of reach because even if we had the same record as New England, we still have the tiebreaker. So we could lose the last two and it wouldn't matter. Houston, they're playing the Raiders. They're going to win, but they're not catching us. There's 2 games left, and they were 3 games ahead. So if we beat Jacksonville and the Ravens beat New England, let's just do this. We'll have the Chargers win out, since they're like the team down our back. We'll have us lose the final 2 weeks. And we have us win. No, the Chargers would become the 1 seed. So we need, let's have New England win their final 2 as well. They beat the Jets, and we'll have them beat the Dolphins. New England's the 2, the Chargers would be the 1. That's even with us winning this Sunday. In Baltimore winning. Yeah, I mean, technically, we could end up being a wild card team, which I wouldn't mind playing the Steelers. The sad reality that Bronco fans don't want to talk about, and I'll be the one to say it, the Chargers control their own destiny to being the number 1 seed and winning the division. And I think for a lot of Bronco fans, it feels like we just have to, it's weird because it's like, so do the Broncos control their own destiny. Both teams control their own destiny. But I am saying that week 18 is going to be for the 1 seed or the 5 seed if the Chargers win their next 2 games. And the Broncos also, no. I had Denver losing this game. Oh, okay. So if Denver, I feel so much better. I was like, man, I haven't heard anyone talk about this. Yeah, it's because it's not true. Okay, I have Denver losing 3 games because they have 3 losses right now. Get that out of here. Okay, so if we win against Jacksonville and the Chargers win and the Ravens win, and next week we beat the Chiefs, the Chargers win, and the Patriots win, week 18, if the Chargers win, it changes seeding, but doesn't take us out from being the 1 seed. And let's make New England win as well. New England. Okay, I already got them winning. So that confirms it. If Denver beats Jacksonville and the Baltimore Ravens beat New England, the Denver Broncos, if they win this week and beat Kansas City on Christmas, which is Thursday, without Mahomes, we take the number 1 seed in the NFL. Now let's take a quick look at the Lions beating the Steelers, the 49ers beating the Colts. Then we go to, Tampa Bay and Carolina is interesting because Carolina has to beat Tampa Bay twice to get in. They have to win both. Look at this. Even if you take Tampa to win this one, and then Carolina, even if they beat the Seahawks, right? And Tampa Bay's playing the Dolphins. And look, we had Tampa win this one. And then week 18, you give Carolina the win. Tampa's still in. But look, if you get Carolina sweeping Tampa, that's the only way. See, if you have Carolina winning this one and Tampa winning this one, it doesn't matter. Even though they're both 9-8, if Carolina splits with Tampa, they're eliminated. Carolina has to sweep the Tampa Bay Bucks to get in, unless you're going to actually hope that Miami with Quinn Ewers can beat Tampa Bay. If that happens, everything's back on the table. And even if you split, it would be okay. But that's probably not happening. So then week 17, Green Bay. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do an episode about the playoffs in fantasy football. I'm going to close this one down and start another one here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the end of the Bears-Packers. I just want to give this new video the proper thumbnail so people can click on it. And because right now they think they're watching the Bears-Packers. So I'm going to start a new one up here in a second. Bears get the win in a unconventional way, but an incredible game. I will see you guys hopefully in just a minute. See you.